Big boy goes viral, wins the internet.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print.
I saw this video.
Goes viral, wins the internet. I made this post over on my Twitter. I think last I checked, it had like 1,500 likes, which is, you know, a pretty decent amount of likes for something coming from my content. But this gentleman has kind of went viral for this is the way, you know, this is the way, guys. This is the way to treat these content.
It's fake? How do you know it's fake? Because it is? Okay, so people don't know it's fake. Okay.
Creators, these girls that are going to use you to shame you, going to use you to try to go viral or make fun of you. This guy knows what's going on. He's not stupid. Hopefully he's a viewer of mine or other content like this, and he knows the game. And so we're going to talk about this for a second. I'm going to play the video. Before we jump into that, a quick reminder, I'm going to put this out on both my videos today. I have won the contest for the car. I haven't talked about it, the Jeremy's Razor contest for the car where I won the $250,000. I haven't talked about this now for about 4 months, I think.
What the fuck?
So I'm just putting it out there again so you guys know that I haven't forgotten about all the help that you gave me to win the contest. I'm going to be paying
That's a
taxes
lot of
on
money
it here in the next month or so, and then I'm going to find some land, and then I'm going to buy the land, and then I got to meet with a lawyer and to make sure that I get all the legality, and then I'm going to let you guys know what's going on with that. So you'll know the price of the land. You'll know how much is left over after taxes. You guys are going to know all the information, and we'll get the men's retreat going here. But I'm still also trying to square away my own property in my own house. And
A men's retreat. We used to have those every Friday. It was called Playing Magic the Gathering.
A lot going on, but as I make incremental steps, you'll know what's up. I just want to make sure you guys know, because some people have not heard anything in a little while, and they're not over on my locals channel, so they kind of assume like I'm just.
Well, what about the video?
About it. We haven't forgotten. We're going to get to it.
Okay.
All right. So here's the video. This content creator asks this guy, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he just out and out. This is a perfect interview from his behalf. Of course, she's plugging probably her content creation and or the drink that is in her hand to try to go viral.
Potential.
A girlfriend?
I don't.
All right, let me kick this off here. I got to adjust the audio so I don't blow your ears out.
A girlfriend?
I don't.
Do you think I'm hot?
Not really.
Oh, why?
Way many more people attractive here than you.
What's not hot about me?
Your personality and your voice.
My voice?
You're a little too small. You can maybe like eat a burger, not be anorexic.
That's aggressive.
I don't know who you're trying to impress. No one's gonna simp over you.
So there you go.
Lays down the law. Lays down the law. Anyway, this got shared, and this has been going kind of all over the place.
Yeah, people have been posting this. Like 50 people have linked me this video. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'll definitely say, I mean, she is hot. Definitely she's hot. But the voice thing, yeah, a little bit.
On Twitter. But this is the right answer. Look, this guy knows there's no answer that he's going to say. And again, I hate to say this about this guy, but we all know this. We all have to be based in reality here. There's nothing that this guy's going to say that will impress her, make her want to date him. You know, she's a content creator. She's obviously attractive. She does have an annoying voice. I'll give him that much. He's right on that.
My man.
But this is the proper answer to all of this stuff. And it makes him look based. It really does. And it puts her in her place. You know,
well, I think the reason why, like, because the guy was an asshole to her. But, like, and this is assuming that it's not fake. People are saying it's fake with literally no evidence of this. Keep in mind, there's literally no evidence that it's fake other than them assuming that it's fake. So, like, it feels fake? Oh, right, of course. Sure it does. Anyway, so the whole thing, it just, if you go up to somebody like this, it's very obvious what she's trying to do, right? Like, everybody knows what this girl's trying to do. She's picking out a guy, like there's probably a bunch of other guys there, and she picks out the one guy that's fat, that's wearing a hoodie. He's not like a particularly like good-looking guy or anything, and she's trying to make content out of this. It's very obvious.
And the girls do this. What they're hoping for is they're hoping for these guys to fall all over themselves to say, "Oh, no, yeah, you're beautiful, or you're attractive, or yeah, I'd love to date you." Or,
Oh, yeah.
But it's a control thing. Like this
Yeah,
woman.
it's definitely a power play. People do this to like boost their own ego or to look like they're a good person for talking to somebody. And the like subtext of it is, I'm a good person for talking to you because naturally you would be, so far below me I wouldn't talk to you. You see what I'm saying?
No, there's nothing this guy is going to do that's going to get her to date
Yeah.
him. I think what's changing now with the internet and with content, with everything that's going on, is that guys are getting a sense of, look, I know what's going on. I understand the game that's being played on me. And this guy understands. And so what's the best opportunity for him in this situation is to at least come out of this unscathed, unembarrassed, to try not to get played.
Because this is what happens, right? And like this was happening a lot like last month where there would be like these girls that would post videos recording some guy looking at them in a gym. And it's like very hard to know. Like there definitely are creepy guys in a gym. I've talked to many girls and I don't think a single one of them that goes to the gym regularly has ever said this hasn't happened to them. It does happen all the time, but it doesn't mean that every guy is doing it.
And what does he do? He ends up playing her because he's, not good looking. He's overweight. And he says, hey, there's better looking girls here than you. And your voice is annoying. And your personality's not that great. And no one here is going to simp for you. And I think that is an absolutely perfect answer. One of the things that I just did in the other video here that I was talking about today.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I would not feel this way if it was just completely uncalled for. But in the context of her using him for content in this very obvious way, I think that I don't even slightly like she was trying to make him look stupid and weird and bad, and then he turned it around. Fuck that.
One of the other things that I talked about is that women now will do anything for validation on social media. Maybe it's going to the gym and trying to catch guys embarrassing themselves, or glancing at them, and then they try to go viral with some hate. Maybe it's themselves putting out this kind of content. And what's going to happen is that men are getting wise to it, like this gentleman is. He knows what's going on. And this is why he, quote unquote, wins the internet, because he knows the game. I got one more video here that I'm gonna pop on, and this is the result of these women doing these things. It is directly the result. Let me pull up this other one video here. Here's the result. And this is just one result. This isn't all the results, but this is what's going to happen, is that men get smart, men wise up, and they say, we're not going to play your games anymore. So here's a girl at the gym working out, and she's got a camera pointed at her.
Okay.
And she gets herself in a little bit of trouble, and no one's around to help her.
What is this?
Also, on top of that, anybody that does any type of workout like this, she's got the end caps, and you can't really see it, but if you can, I can't really zoom in the video.
The green things, yeah.
The end cap, the green, she's got clamps that lock the weights onto the bar. Now, that's a great idea if you're doing maybe back squats or front squats or anything like that. Deadlifts, that's all fine, although you don't really need it for deadlifts. But she's locked the weights on the ends of the bar, so she can't do a weight dump.
And she can't lean them off.
For those of you that don't work out or don't do a lot of bench press or use free weights, is if something's too heavy and you get yourself in trouble,
you lean over to the side. Yeah.
You can just roll your body a little bit, drop one end of the bar, and the weights will slide off. And, of course, then it'll fly the other direction, and the weights will dump off the other side. But that's how you can get yourself out of a really bad situation when you go too far. But she should have a spotter. Why does she not have a spotter? No one's going to come around you. No one's going to be part of this.
I think this is a bit of an agenda. Like, I don't think that's really true. It's hard to say whether that's true or not. If you look at her, she's wearing a mask, which implies that there's probably not a lot of people around her. There's also nobody else in the picture. So I find it hard to I think it is a stretch to say that a person not helping her is an outcome of other girls filming men at a gym. I do feel like that's a bit too far. Because I think there's probably a lot of guys that, like, they don't give a fuck if some girl's, like, recording them and tries to, like, cancel them on the internet or something stupid like that, because they're not doing that. Probably married or something like that. Yeah, so it wouldn't even matter to them. I think there's a lot of guys, yeah, they don't give a fuck. If they saw somebody who's getting hurt, they would just go help them.
What, if a guy's spotting you, are you going to say, this guy came over and tried to do this, or, you know, he's standing right over my head, and maybe he smells, or maybe he's this, or maybe he's that. Nope, you're on your own now. And here's what happens. She does too much. She does too much weight. She got the mask on. She got the blue hair.
Oh, my God.
She's covered in tattoos. And because she's
Oh,
locked
my
the
God.
weights on there, she can't do a dump.
Jesus.
And she lifted too much, too
That's
many times.
scary.
And she can't, she's so weak, and this is not a lot of weight. She's completely locked herself out, and she can't even get the weights off of her. And so now she's flailing around.
Oh,
and
my God.
this is what you get. And then she finally just gives up.
Jesus.
No help. No one's around you. No one's coming to help you. This
I
is
mean,
what-
I will say that, like, nobody, like, you didn't hear any background noise there. So I think there might not have been anybody there. I mean, again, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's, yeah, I feel like, because I saw this on Twitter, where, like, people are like putting two on top of two. They're like, oh, because of these girls recording guys. And also, like, if you contextualize it around that controversy, you would know that everybody was against these girls. Everybody said, like, well, what the fuck are you doing recording yourself in a gym? Like, everybody was memeing on these girls for doing it. So it's like, what's the logic in other people being intimidated by this trend that's clearly hated by everyone and nobody buys into? You see how that's kind of contradictory?
There it goes. This is the end result of your craziness. And it's going to be the end result. It's going to be the end result when it comes to dating.
Yeah, I think personally, I don't really agree with, like, this outlook, because I don't view this outlook as being any different than some, like, super radical feminists that think that because some guys are assholes and some guys are, you know, like, they'll touch girls without their consent, and like, you know, or they're, like, really pushy and stuff like that. And then they make these statements are like, oh, this is what you get, guys. This is what guys get. This is what they want. This is what they're going to get. Bro, like, no, like I'm not doing that. Like, that's weird. What the fuck? So I view, like, this is kind of the same thing with, whenever, this is like the guy version of it, if that makes sense.
To somebody hurting you, like in the other video I did the other day, where this guy comes up and just whacks a gal and knocks her out. No one flinched. No one came over and said, hey, no, stop this. Women are going to make fun of men. They're going to push men away. They're going to insult them. They're going to tell them they're all these different things. And all it takes is a couple of times seeing it on the internet, where you say, hey, now if I'm in a gym, I'm not going to get fooled. I'm not going to get tricked. Nope. If I'm on a dating app, I'm not going to be try hard. I'm not going to come across it because she's going to screenshot it and put me on blast. I'm not going to do...
Well, I think that's probably a good idea anyway. I mean, I see some of the messages that some of these girls get and stuff like that. No, I'll address that too. Give me a second. Like, there are a lot of guys that will message, like, really, really, like, super cringe stuff at girls. Like, I'm amazed whenever I see this kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, you definitely shouldn't do that. You know, you treat people like people, and they'll probably do the same. But there are some guys that just really go way too far. And it's not even like, oh, well, he's just very romantic. It's like creepy, weird stuff, etc. I'm not a fan of that. And I also think that guys, you know, you should have a certain degree of self-respect. Like, he's right in that regard. Like if you have to debase yourself and, keep typing some girl, please respond over and over and over, I don't think this is very good for you. I mean, it's not good at all, but that's just how it is, right? Some guys do that because they're insecure or they don't know how to address or how to talk to a girl. That's just what happens.
And all that's going to happen is men more and more are going to slowly back away and say, nope, no more, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen that way when it comes to marriage, with kids, in society, with dating, gym, protecting women. You guys are going to make it so you're so awful that men are literally going to have nothing to do with you. They're going to.
I think there are guys that are like that, same as like women that are like that. But I think that if you act like that and you get upset about that kind of stuff, most of the time, one of those people and one of those guys or women that type stuff like this on Twitter, it's a person that was like hurt really bad by some previous relationship. They thought that they could completely trust this person, and then this person broke their heart or something like that. And so now they're like, well, I'm not going to listen to any other guy, or I hate all women now, and women are just liars and thieves that are out for your money. So I think that's kind of what happens, is that, somebody has a bad experience like that, and then it changes them. You see what I'm saying? There are so many mixed messages on how to approach, and persistence is super subjective. No, I don't think persistence is super subjective at all. Yeah, I don't think so at all. I think that there are cases where it is, but I think 95% of cases where guys are persistent, if you looked at this objectively and you read the messages, you would clearly understand that it's wrong with guys being super persistent. I see this all the time, guys. It's as much projection, so you can learn a lot just from listening. Yeah, exactly. Men are leaving. There are some guys that don't want to have a girlfriend and everything like that. There's women that don't want to do that too. Like, as I've said before, I am very much a traditional marriage enjoyer. I think that's the best way for a society to exist. But there's a lot of guys and also women that disagree.
Avoid you at all costs, because they know they're more than likely just being used for you to get clicks and likes and attention from other guys on the internet and from other girls saying, you slay, girl, you queen, oh, you're this, that, and the other thing. Men are done with this. Men are learning. Now, it's not to say that you as a...
Yeah, I don't think it's like a collective. Like, there's always going to be guys simping for that girl. It's just what's going to happen. Like, it's men and women are not collectives.
Guy needs to become, antisocial or be a jerk or be public menace. It doesn't mean that we lower our own standards. It just means you have to be hyper aware of what's going on and the situations that are happening. It also means that
I do think that part is true. And like, if somebody comes up to you with like a microphone and a camera, you have to understand that like they are trying to use you for content. Yeah, absolutely.
you need to avoid what's going on the internet. The internet is not the real world. The internet is full of narcissistic, crazy, attention-seeking people. But I'll tell you this, downstairs, I'm living here in Knoxville. Downstairs, I can go out and about, and within, a mile or two walk of me are tons of restaurants and shops and activities to do.
Okay.
And you know what? Those people are happy. Those people are normal. They're not doing this crazy stuff for attention and likes and everything else. So don't get confused. Don't become bitter. Don't become angry. Don't become black-pilled. It's not the world that is like this. It's the internet. And Grant,
I think that's true. Yeah, I do think that's true. There's a lot of people that blow shit up massively on the internet, and then, like, I remember I was talking to somebody who was a teacher, and they were talking about how parents were like super hyper paranoid about, them getting involved with like teaching their kids about like transgenderism at like age 5 and stuff like that. And it's like, does this really happen in schools all the time? No. Like, they have no idea. Like, if that doesn't, like, there's like a few nutballs on Twitter that are like making posts about this, but the truth is that this is like a 99.9% not happening thing. And there's just a few people that have an agenda that are creepy, that are trying to, like, you know, teach kids about sex whenever they're 6 or 7 years old, right? That's obviously bad. But at the same time, you can't look at those people on Twitter that are getting a massive amount of attention, like a huge amount of attention. But they are getting that much attention because what they're doing is so disagreeable that everybody else is taking time out of their day to say that they don't like it. But if you're not consuming that kind of content and you're not paying attention to that, you would never even know this stuff is happening unless somebody tells you, because it's actually so small.
Said yes, it may be more people in a big city versus less people out in the countryside. We're not going to condemn society based on what a few idiots do on the internet, but just understand that this is becoming more and more a thing. And the ability to shame men and make fun of them and use them for clicks and likes is becoming more popular. And so just keep your radar and your eyes focused on this stuff so you don't become a casualty in this ridiculous war. Guys, if you're here on YouTube, make sure to join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com, where I'm going to do a dating profile of the day, and we continue the discussion. So I hope you join me over there today.
I do think that, like, with a lot of this kind of stuff is... there are always guys that they see this as like a men versus women thing. But the truth is, a lot of women don't like the girls that go up and do this stuff either. There's a lot of girls that don't like this. Like, absolutely. Yeah, they hate this shit too. And they don't want to deal with this at all. I wish that there was like more of a focus around that. Because I feel like there's so much of a mindset that there's like a collective consciousness of like men versus women. And no, all men do not think alike. Same as all women do not think alike. I think, yeah, that I would even argue probably the vast majority of women would see something like this and be like, this is bullying, this is weird. Like a lot of the girls that I've talked to, like, I think if they saw this, they'd be like, yeah, I can see what she's doing. That's weird. Definitely. What's this? Well, I'm not in the gym. I don't want to be filmed either. Yeah, exactly. Like, people don't like being filmed at the gym in general. I think that seems kind of fair. People can't comprehend that or are scared to realize that. I think forcing content's weird regardless of gender. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what it is. We only have 2 girls in the chat. Yeah, somewhere around there. Everything nowadays is just so polarized for content and attention. It creates a false reality of everything being so black and white. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like if somebody was going around doing this, I feel like the majority of people would probably not act like either one of these people in this video. They would just be like, no, I'm not interested, and walk away. Like, that's probably what would happen. Yeah, Twitch is part of the problem. I think all social media is part of this problem. All social media pushes an extreme and radicalized version of looking at the world, and it highlights those extremities a lot. It highlights the most insane people on both sides of every issue. And because of that, the issues are defined around, and the conversations are defined around talking about how crazy they are. Conversations are printed to extremes. Yeah, these are extremes, massively extremes. Politics do the same, not always social media. I don't know about that. I think that for politics, I think it's very different whenever you're talking about like social media versus politics, because like politics is usually like top-down like messaging where like a politician is telling you this, whereas like social media, everybody is collectively talking about the same thing.
I traded